My two older sisters had an idea for my costume for the school Halloween party. At 5 feet 5 inches and with a slender build, I looked more feminine than most boys my age. Unlike my peers, I had little body hair and didn't need to shave. While I was well liked at school, I often faced teasing about my appearance. Being in drama class meant I frequently played female roles, which I was surprisingly good at. This led to a particularly interesting evening at the costume party. My sister Jessica, who was a senior and just 2 years older than me, had laid out my costume on the bed. Rachel, my other sister, had graduated and was now in college. The outfit included satin panties, a matching lace-trimmed bra, a corset with straps for black lace-top nylons, a blue French maid's uniform, a red petticoat, and blue patent leather shoes with ankle straps and 6-inch heels. As I entered my room, I saw the items and felt a bit self-conscious. I began to put on my robe. Jessica walked in as I was in my underwear. I tried to cover up, but she reassured me. "Don't worry, Taylor. I've seen you in your underwear before." I managed a smile, and she explained the plan. "You need to take a bath first. Then shave off any body hair to make yourself smooth," she said. "Are you sure this is okay? What about Mom and Dad? They know already. We've discussed it, and they've seen you dressed as a girl for plays." "All right, if you say so." I headed to the bathroom where Jessica had drawn a bath and added her scented bubble bath. The warm water felt soothing. I shaved my legs, underarms, and anywhere else I had hair. While I was in the bath, Jessica entered. "Sis, I'm bathing here," I said, feeling a bit awkward. "I know, Taylor. I'm just going to do your hair. The bubbles will cover everything." She carefully rolled my hair into curlers. Though it pinched a bit, I let her do it. My hair, styled long as was trendy for boys, reached my shoulders and looked good. Jessica smiled as she finished. "There, that should be perfect. After your bath, I'll help with your makeup and everything else." She left the bathroom, and when I got out of the tub, I toweled off and put on some of her perfumed powder. I was starting to feel pretty good about the whole thing. I thought to myself, can I pull this off? I most certainly can, and I will. I went to my room and my sister was waiting there. She told me to take off my robe, which I quickly did. The first thing she did was picked up the panties and held them up to me. Before she put them in, she took my man parts and stuffed them up inside my body. Then she took my penis and pulled it back between my legs. She picked up a roll of surgical tape and secured my penis. When I looked down, she had fashioned a sort of vagina, and it was flat and smooth. She held the panties out and I slid them up my legs and around my waist. You would never have known that I had any male parts at all. I smiled at her despite myself. Next came the corset. It was a full-length corset, and when she laced it up the back, she told me to raise my arms so she could get it tight. Now I had a slight build and a small waist to start, but the corset made my waist even smaller. Jessica smiled after she had tied the laces in back. She picked up the bra and had me slip my arms through the straps. After she hooked it in back, she stepped back to admire her handiwork. Something is missing," she said. Jessica left the room and came back carrying a small box and a tube of something. "Take off the bra, please," she said. I took off the bra and she opened the box. She took what appeared to be a set of perfectly formed silicone chest forms. She applied some of the stuff from the tube to one of them and pressed it to my chest. She did the same with the other one. She held them in place for a little bit and then stood back. I looked down, and there on my chest were a pair of very realistic-looking chests. The glue I used will keep them on for about a week, but if you use some of this remover stuff they will come off. The chest forms moved when I moved and felt so real. I couldn't help but feel them. They felt real, and they even jiggled like real ones. "Where did you get these, sis?" I asked. "Mom has had them for a while. Remember when she had that operation a couple of years ago?" "Yes." Well, she wore these till they did her reconstruction after the mastectomy she had due to chest cancer. Oh, okay, I remember. She told me to put the bra back on and she hooked it in back. The bra now fit perfectly. I couldn't help but look in the mirror and admire what I looked like. As Jessica was getting me dressed, Rachel came in and looked at me rather funny. "Not bad, little brother, or should I say little sister?" she said with a smile. I couldn't help but blush at her comment. "So what is this all about, Jessica?" she asked. "Well, Taylor needed a costume for tonight and I thought this one would be good." "I think so too, Jessica," said Jessica. "Do you need any help?" "Sure, sis, you can do his makeup for me after I get him dressed." Me being the youngest child and the baby of the family, as my sisters always referred to me, I wasn't arguing with them. As a matter of fact, I was having the most fun I had had in a long time. My two sisters always treated me nice and I did love them. Jessica told me to stand up as she picked up the maid's uniform. I stepped into it and she zipped it up in back. She picked up the petticoat and had me step into it as she pulled it up around my waist. It made a funny swishing sound as I walked and I loved the feel of it against my bare legs. Jessica had me sit down and she started to roll the nylons up my legs. She attached each nylon to the garter straps of the corset and then stood back to look. She put the red shoes on my feet and attached the ankle straps. It was a bit hard for me to walk in them, but I quickly got used to it. As I teetered there, Rachel just laughed. "Maybe we should have started him out with lower heels?" "That would ruin the effect, Rachel." Standing in front of my sisters in the maid's uniform, I couldn't help but smile. The skirt was so short that the tops of my nylons were visible, and I had to be careful about bending over to avoid exposing my panties. Jessica led me by the hand to her room and had me sit in the chair by her vanity. While she styled my hair, Rachel worked on my makeup. The only part one didn't enjoy was when she tweezed my eyebrows. The most daunting moment came when Rachel picked up a device that looked like a glue gun and pressed it against my ear. There was a small pop and a quick sting, and suddenly, I had an earring in each ear. She repeated the process on the other side and then stepped back. When Jessica finished with my hair, she turned me around to face the mirror. The reflection that met me was astonishing. Despite my many dress-up sessions for drama class, I was amazed by how I looked. I saw a beautiful girl of about 14 or 15 staring back at me. I smiled to reassure myself it was really me and then turned to face my sisters, who were both grinning and each kissed me on the cheek. "Oh my, you look absolutely darling, Taylor." "Or should I call you Patricia?" Jessica asked. Blushing, I stood up. For the next hour, Jessica and Rachel taught me how to move and act like a girl, how to sit, stand, speak, and even how to bat my eyelashes. To everyone who saw me, I wasn't a boy anymore, I was a girl, and I loved it. "I don't think she should go to the dance alone." "What do you think, Jessica?" Rachel said. "Of course not. We should get her a date," Jessica agreed. I tried to protest, but Jessica quickly silenced me. Rachel picked up the phone and made a call. "There, it's all arranged. Ryan will be here in about half an hour," Rachel announced. "Who's Ryan?" I asked. "Oh, he's just a friend," Rachel replied. "Oh no, not Ryan?" Jessica said with surprise. "And why not Ryan?" Rachel asked. "I thought Ryan was your boyfriend." "He is, Jessica. That's the best part. I told him I wanted him to meet our cousin who's going to the party tonight, and he agreed. I told him she's a knockout." The two sisters exchanged smiles and laughed. I felt a growing sense of dread. What had my sisters gotten me into? Jessica was going to the dance as a ballet dancer, and since Rachel wasn't in high school anymore, she couldn't attend. Though I was hesitant about going on a date with a boy, I decided to go along with it. As I sat there, Rachel and Jessica chatted about boys and other girl stuff. I listened intently, feeling as if I was just another girl in the room, me. When the doorbell rang, I nearly jumped out of my chair. Rachel went to answer it, and I expected to see her boyfriend, Ryan. Instead, Ryan was there with two other boys. Rachel greeted Ryan with a big hug and a kiss, and Jessica did the same with one of the other boys. "Well, introductions are in order," Rachel said. "Ryan, this is our cousin Patricia Jessica, and of course, you know my sister Jessica." "Hello, Patricia." "It's nice to meet you," Ryan said. I just stood there, feeling a bit awkward. "That's a fantastic costume. You should definitely win first prize," Ryan complimented. "Thank you, Ryan," I replied in my most feminine voice. "This is my cousin Daniel. He's about your age, and Jessica arranged for him to go to the dance with you," Rachel explained. Daniel was dressed as a pirate and looked impressive. He was a head taller than me, well-built, and undeniably handsome. "Patricia, this is my boyfriend Nick," Jessica introduced. "Hello, Nick," I said. "Are we ready to go?" Jessica asked. "As ready as I'll ever be," I replied with a shy smile. Daniel took my hand, and we walked to Nick's car together. Nick and Jessica got in the front seat while Daniel and I settled into the back. Daniel pulled me close and draped his arm around my shoulders. I wasn't sure how to react, especially when Jessica glanced back and smiled at me. Then, unexpectedly, Daniel leaned in and kissed me on the lips. I was taken aback and tried to push him away, though I couldn't deny a small part of me enjoyed it. "Why did you do that, Daniel?" I asked. "I don't know, Patricia." "Can I call you Patty?" he responded. "Sure, if I can call you Alex." "Absolutely, beautiful," he said with a smile. We stayed close the rest of the way to the dance. As we arrived and headed into the school gym, I was nervous but excited. I worried about what would happen if Daniel discovered I was really a boy. What I didn't realize was that both Daniel and Nick already knew Rachel had spoken to them beforehand. At the dance, I was in high spirits, feeling like I'd pulled off a clever trick. We danced the night away, and Alex's hands were all over me. I was becoming accustomed to it all. When it was time to award the Best Costume Prize, I was called on stage with other students. Hearing my name as the winner was unbelievable. Standing in the crowd were Jessica, Nick, and Alex, all beaming with pride. The first place prize was a $100 savings bond, and Jessica was absolutely thrilled. As I left the stage, I was congratulated by many people I knew. "We had to make you convincing, which is why we arranged this date with Daniel," Jessica explained. "Well, you could have told me," I said. "The question now is, how far will you take this, dear little brother?" Jessica asked. "What do you mean, Jessica?" I inquired. "Well, it seems Alex likes you, and you make a very convincing girl." "I like Alex, but I'm still a boy," I said. Daniel, overhearing, spoke up. "I know you're really a boy, Patricia, but we're still on a date." "I'm worried about what people will think if we leave together," I said. "Everyone here thinks it's great that you're my girlfriend," Daniel reassured me. I was completely caught, with no escape in sight. The only question was how far this would go. As the night drew to a close, I wanted to go home. Alex wrapped his arms around me and kissed me again, and I didn't resist. I let him kiss me, and together we left the dance. On the way home, he kissed me once more. I was starting to enjoy it, though my thoughts were tangled. Was there a part of me that felt like a girl? I wasn't very convincing as a boy, but I felt at ease as a girl in the embrace of a handsome boy. When the boys dropped us off, Rachel was waiting and asked how the evening went. I told her I had a great time, won first prize for best costume, but felt uncertain about what would come next. She mentioned we'd need to discuss it with Mom and Dad. That night, I went to bed in one of my sister's nighties and slept more soundly than ever before. I dreamed of being a girl.